What's up, everybody? Iron Minds, episode 32. Hotel workout today with my man, Hayden Allred. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Trey Griggs here, Beta Consulting Group, in a hotel today in Dallas. Ooh, an alarm is going off. Do you hear that? It just went off.
I do hear that.
Everybody, it is time to go. Hayden, you're in. I got to turn this thing off.
That alarm going, dude. It's the siren sounding for the gun show, dog.
Do I just unplug the thing? Let's see here. There we go. Now it's off. You never know. You never know what you're going to get around here, which is kind of the way it works, man. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm great, dude. I love the feng shui in the workout studio this morning.
Exactly. I know. It's a great hotel. I'm at the Hotel Anatole here. Anatole? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyways.
I'm not sure.
It's a good question. I don't know about that at all. Somebody from Dallas needs to let me know. But anyways, here for the Women in Trucking Conference, which is today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And I'm in your hometown, bro. Good to see you.
You are. I'm down the street, bro. After we get some stuff done this morning, I will be at the hotel at the conference for the next 3 days. Shaking hands, kissing babies, have as many conversations as we can.
Yep, that's right, man. It's exciting. No, it's great to be here. We're going to have a great time. Going to be supporting women in the trucking industry. And I believe they have over 1,700 registered attendees and probably going to be closer to 1,800 or 1,900 with the walk-ins, the same-day walk-ins. So it's going to be a great show, which is awesome. And we're in the hotel today, so we're going to do some body movements and get some things done. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about this real quick. A lot of times we talk about, how, the theme of the show is, iron sharpens iron. So one person sharpens another. And usually we're talking about, physical working out, getting up, getting the day started, getting the week started, getting your mind right, getting your body right, those types of things. And we would be remiss, my friend, if we didn't actually talk a little bit about something that's more important than even working out, which is a little bit of scripture this morning. And I got a little passage I want to read to you, my friend, because we are in a current economic condition where people are starting to, have some fears, some concerns, some worry, some anxiety is increasing, as people know out there. And so we want to talk about that just a little bit. So I'm going to share one of my favorite verses of all time, which is in Philippians, and it's Philippians 4. And it's the passage here, starting in verse, let's start in verse 6. The Lord is at hand. It says, do not be anxious, do not worry. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And then it says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. And I think it's great because it talks about, we have these anxieties in our mind, which fear is always worse in your mind than it actually is in reality. That's just the way it is.
Every time.
But we have these concerns and these fears. And it says, you just need to go to God with prayer and everything, prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Right? So taking your mindset and saying, I'm going to pray about this. I'm going to give it to God. I'm going to be thankful for what I have. And then it says, focus on these things. So it says, switch out the worry and the concern that you have for these things that are noble, true, just, pure, lovely, commendable, excellent, worthy of praise. Think about these things. What we think about, what we focus on, it really matters. It really matters in terms of our mindset and what we're doing, how we're doing things. And so that's our encouragement to you this morning, is to make sure that you are thinking about your mind and what you're putting in your mind, what you're focusing on, and what you're doing with those negative thoughts, those concerns, those worries, those fears as they come along, because they will indeed come along. Good morning, Brenda. Glad to have you on the show. It is early. Yeah, we're early today. So what's up? So what do you think about that, man?
I like it, dude. I think it ties into sort of other things that we overlook. We live in a world of abundance, and you just look at something as simple as the Lord's Prayer without even breaking it down. But, it says, give us this day our daily bread. It doesn't say, give us more than we need. It's like kind of ties into like, hey, today has its own worries. I will get you through it. Worry about today. Tomorrow has its own problems. Right? Like, control what you can control today. Place your faith in God. He's conquered this world. Lay your anxiousness, your thoughts, your worries at his feet.
Right.
Trust that he will provide.
That's right. It's funny too.
It is written.
I was after the show last night. So Naomi, my youngest daughter, she's 12, almost 13, going on 30. I feel like she performed in Mary Poppins this week. She had shows, preview show Wednesday, opening night Thursday, Friday night, Saturday night, and then yesterday during the day had a matinee show. And afterwards, we went and had dinner. We were just talking about just life and what's going on and things like that. And one thing that we talked about was, the truth is, like, we had no idea what was going to happen today. We none of us knew. We had plans, but we didn't actually know what was going to happen today. It's kind of like when you think back to like 9/11 and what happened on that day. Those people just went to work that Monday morning. They had no idea what was going to happen that day. They had plans. They didn't actually know, right? And we don't know what's going to happen today. We don't know how things are going to turn out. We don't know, right? But it's important for us. That's why we live the day. That's why we play the games. That's why we do it. But it's important for us to know that God is not surprised by any of that. And he's got control of all of that. And these first world problems that we have, this thinking ahead, planning ahead, all that kind of stuff, we can trust him with that. For sure.
Yep. And that's it kind of ties in perfectly to something I posted about last week, a lesson we started at church called Dear God, which is teaching people how to pray. Which is kind of a silly thing when you think about it, because you're like, well, you go to church, you're a Christian, like you should know how to pray. And it's like, well, sometimes it's one of those things where it's very easy to get caught into the emotions of that whole thing and to not truly understand where the power of prayer is. And I like something my pastor said. It's like the power of prayer is not moving God closer to our will, right? It's not me praying like, God, wake up, let me secure the bag, let me get this money, make me a billionaire so I can prove money won't change me. It's the power in prayer is being moved closer to God's will, right? So figure out where the root of your intentions are when you do pray. If you are truly asking for guidance, to walk the path that you are called to, that he has laid out for you, that's where the power of prayer is coming. So maybe whatever your current season isn't where you're supposed to be. And that's one of those tough things too, where it's like, if that is his will and his plan, it's like, don't fight it. Ask for the, understanding, patience.
Yeah.
It's because it's scary, dude. It's scary in the world we live in.
Yeah. The power of prayer is really about moving us towards what God is doing and aligning us with what he is doing and reminding us that he's in charge, he's in control, and for good reason. We can trust him. We can trust him with our life and with what's going on.
Like, aren't you glad God doesn't just answer every prayer that we have? Like, aren't you glad? We are yes. Flawed. We don't know what we want. We think we do. Like, praise God. Not all my prayers are answered.
That's right. That's right. We just don't know what we need or what we want.
I'd be married to Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah. Yep. That's for sure. And, this economic downturn that we're in right now, people are concerned. People are afraid, and I understand that. But they can pass those anxieties and those worries to God. It's important. So we're in a hotel workout today, everybody. Sometimes you find yourself in a workout in a hotel, and you're like, well, what do I do? Well, you know what? I'm going to show you some things that I do today. So there was just some crawlers. You have to do little push-ups and crawlers. But I love doing a lot of body motions today. What's up, Scott? Watson out every Monday.
Every Monday.
He's here.
He's a machine.
Hey, speaking of, so Brenda jumped on the show. Listen, Brenda's a good friend of mine now that I got to know. And we are doing an event next Saturday, everybody, or this Saturday coming up. It's called Becoming the Best You, about changing your life. And I'm going to be telling my story at 9 a.m. Central on Saturday morning live. So if you'd like to learn more about that, go to comechangeyourlife.com, and you can learn more about that event coming up this weekend. Anyways, I do a lot of body motions when I'm in a hotel. There's a lot of things you can do without any weights. I think there might be a workout facility in this place, but I got here so late, didn't have a chance to check it out. So here we are.
They definitely got
squats. We do some inverted push-ups, which I'm excited
about. Dude,
that.
Don't ever sleep on calisthenics, body weight stuff. You would have to, for your calisthenics to be ruled out as a viable option, you better be an elite athlete, or to where your body weight is going to do nothing. And even then, Olympians train, dude. They're on rings. It's like, dude, your body weight, you can do incredible things with. You can transform your entire life doing body weight.
Yep, that's so true. So true, my friend. So true. Yeah, so it's been really, to go back to what I was saying last night at dinner with my family, been talking, had a lot of car rides with my daughter too, rehearsals for Mary Poppins, which is great, man. I'd say car rides with kids, such good time to have like really meaningful conversations. So we've just been talking a lot about mindset, about, thinking through what she's going to do in her life, where she wants to go, things she wants to try. Just a lot of really good conversations around that and around, what really matters in life, what really matters most, which is why I'm late to the Women in Trucking show. Started last night. I missed the opening reception. I'm sure it was awesome, but had to watch my little girl. All right, incline push-ups. Here we go.
Get it. My body's still slightly recovering from the Tough Mudder, dude. My knees have been a little tender since that day.
You know what's interesting about that? How's the form, Scott? Let me know how the form was. I went running the Tuesday or Wednesday after the Tough Mudder, just trying to stay in it. And my body was, even though I felt good, my body was like, nope, not yet. I did 3 miles, and I decided to shut it down for just a little bit. So yeah, it's good just to get everything rest and recover a little bit, stretch a little bit, all those good things.
I think I'm hitting the point in my age where I got to actually start taking supplementation seriously, and I'm annoyed by it. But like, I got to start getting some glucosamine, some fish oil, like my joints and stuff. Never had to do that, and I'm so agitated that like that's a reality now, because I definitely know it's needed because I can feel it.
Well, we sit all day or stand, but moving.
It's like, it's even just getting older, man. It just, if your diet's not dialed in like you're going to have inefficiencies, and you got to figure out how to supplement for those.
Yeah, it's no fun, dude. That's right. It's no fun at all.
But thankfully, we've got the knowledge, the information, and the availability to do stuff like that. So
lots of water. Lots of water.
Don't drink enough of that.
I'm currently in no soda November.
Is that right?
Yep. And what is today, the 14th? So I'm on day 14 of no soda. Last night we went to dinner, and my wife accidentally got me a Diet Coke. But shout out to my wife though, because she forgot about it too. And she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She goes, "They do have lemonade over there. You can go dump that out." So we went, dumped it out. Had a lemonade. It wasn't that great. It's really strong. Had mainly just water for dinner last night. But 14 days.
There you go. I have not. I've had a few over the past week, probably 2, but I've got way back, like from pre-Tough Mudder when I was drinking quite a few on a regular basis. I haven't, because dude, for the week or so after the Tough Mudder, dude, I felt so dang lean. Like I just kept waking up just feeling like I'm leaner and leaner. I'm like, what is going on? And it felt good because I felt like I was 180 pounds. I feel light all day. At like 198. I was like, I'm gonna try to keep my diet on check because I like feeling this much energy and just light walking around.
Yeah, it feels good, and it's amazing how just what you eat, the amount of sleep that you get, takes care of a lot of that.
That's a big one for me. Sleep, I don't get enough. Not quality sleep, at least.
Yeah, only 6.5 hours last night. Not enough for me. I try to go somewhere between 7 and 8 every night. And that's good for me. That's what I need. That is what I need. So let me ask you a question, my friend. In line with the scripture passage that we read today, which was Philippians 4:6 through 8, for the most part, what are some things that are true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, excellent, praiseworthy? What things are we thinking about this morning while I do some more incline push-ups?
The ability to wake up, pick up heavy weights, and put them down repeatedly. I have the physical strength to be able to do that, to be able to push myself. Get to wake up. Bills are paid. Roof is over my head. I got healthy kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be thankful for.
We talked about that during the Tough Mudder too. Like, how many people would trade places with us right now while we're doing that Tough Mudder, running 9 miles in the cold, in the wind, going through those crazy obstacles? How many people would trade with us right then because they didn't have the ability to walk, they didn't have the ability to move around like that? And
They would give anything to be able to push themselves through suffering, to have the ability to.
Exactly. And sometimes we just forget about stuff like that,
Isn't that such an affirmation for what life really is? And that's about the paradigm, like the mind shift or the mindset of how everything can shift. It's like you can genuinely look at a Tough Mudder in two ways, whether you signed up for it or not. It's like, this is going to suck. I'm going to hate this. This is going to be physically difficult, etc. Or, man, what a beautiful thing. I can choose to do this. And I know I have the capability to overcome it. I can push myself, persevere. Small form of suffering to make myself stronger. It's like two different mindsets can vastly change your experience of that entire event.
Yeah.
Which is it's a very strange, quote unquote, cliche thing maybe, but if you were able to apply that, look past, it being like this foo-foo-ish type, cliche, and actually apply that to all areas of your life and find what that lens needs to be through, or to be looked through. What an incredible shift you could have on one's life doing that.
Yep. So true, man. And that's one thing I love about doing these things with a team, with you and Chris, and we had such a great time. It was all about, who was the other guy that was with us? It was Jeff? No, what was his name?
Peter,
that's right. But doing the event with you guys makes it so much easier to have that perspective and to remind ourselves that, man, a lot of people would switch with us right now for the opportunity to do this, the opportunity to walk, to run, to climb, whatever it was. So I think the other thing too is I think about my family, think about what really matters most, like when it's all said and done, I want to have a successful business. I need to make money for my family. That's my job as a producer for my family. But what for?
Yeah.
If you have all this, my kids don't know that I love them, don't know that I have their back, don't feel maybe empowered or that inner confidence that as parents we're supposed to build them up with and give them. Not false self-esteem, not cockiness or arrogance, but truly speaking in their lives that they have what it takes, they can do it, helping them figure out how to navigate life. Like, if I don't do that well, what does it all matter?
Yeah.
What does it all matter? Let me tell you something else, man. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Midlife crisis is a real thing. Midlife crisis, especially for men.
Oh, yeah.
Real thing. Because one day we wake up and this world is not what we thought it was going to be. Our life in particular is not what we thought it was going to be. And the question is, what do you do with that? What do you do with midlife crisis? What do you do when the reality of life doesn't match up to the expectation of what you thought it would be at this point? And you realize you've got 20 more years of work or whatever the number is. 10 years, might be 30 years, who knows? And you got a lot of time to go. You got a lot of work to do. And it's really discouraging. And I've been seeing, it's funny, you go through these phases in life and you start to see these things more because you're going through them more. Like I remember when we got married, we're 27, we got married, 26, 27, trying to have kids at 30. At that point, we started seeing people get married. We started seeing people have babies and do the early family life. We're experiencing it, we're walking through it. And now, I'm 44, I'm gonna be 45 in March. I'm seeing people my age and a little older going through this midlife crisis of, man, life is not what I thought it was gonna be. It's not turning out the way that I thought it was gonna turn out. And what do you do with that? And to me, that's what this passage is all about, because do not be anxious about anything, right? Do not be concerned. Do not worry about these things. Like, take it to God. And what's the bigger purpose? I think when midlife crisis comes, you can either freak out and go buy a car or do something crazy, get divorced, do whatever, try to chase money, whatever it might be. Or you can anchor in and say, okay, God, what do you have for my life? What's my purpose here? What are you calling me to do? How can I take this and be a blessing, glorify you, honor you. I'm just seeing that, man. Midlife crisis.
I think that's just part of growth, man, and maturing, especially from a spiritual standpoint. Like, you're gonna have to realize that this world is not in your control. If you think you've got plans laid out, that's all good and dandy, but there might be somebody up top laughing, saying, "Yeah, you think that's what's going to happen? That's not what I have planned for you." I think it's just, you got to be open, dude. You got to keep an open mindset and constantly reevaluate, take inventory, and ask those things like, what is important? Why am I so anxious or fearful of this? Like, what is the underlying reason? It's a tough question because I'm not there. I can't, anything I say would be speaking out of turn or via vicariously from other things I've heard. But for myself, it's just like, I'm trying not to even put certain expectations out there about what the future holds. I'm just trying to focus on what my goals are, my passions, where they align, and controlling what I can control on a regular basis. Because the whole fearing of the future and trying to plan too far ahead and hoping everything lines up to get to that point, it doesn't work in my life. It seems to never work out that way, which I have to imagine that's probably most people. And honestly, I'm tired of leaning on my own foundation to figure that stuff out. Like, I'm now at the point where I'm literally trying to just push everything to him and say, dude, you lead me and tell me what to do, because I'm flawed, I'm stupid, I don't know what I'm doing, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then just try to stay in tune with that.
It's an interesting balance, because we're called to work hard, we're called to use wisdom, we're called to make good decisions. It's important to have vision in your life, where you want to go, where you're headed, but keeping all in mind that, we are fully and totally dependent upon God. What would happen, and somebody out there today might experience this, somebody in the world probably will, but what would happen if, I get home on Wednesday and I, not feeling well, and I go to the doctor and it turns out I've got aggressive stage 4 cancer. Like, all the plans I make in the world ain't going to happen. It's not going to matter at that point, and not that I wish that upon anybody, but at the same time, sometimes I think there is wisdom in thinking about situations like that to say, listen, I can do all the right things. I can eat all the right foods. I can drink water. I can sleep. I can do everything I'm supposed to do. But at the end of the day, God's in control, and for good reason. I can trust that. I can depend on that. And that's important, It's really, really important to keep that perspective for sure. I got a few more rounds here to go. All right. Doing a few different leg workouts today, getting some different movements in today, which is nice. Working out without shoes on today too, which is kind of interesting. A little Heisman for the college football. We get the Heisman Trophy.
Hit him
here.
Hit him with it.
Who did the Heisman pose in the game? Was that a Michigan player, Desmond Howard? I think he went to a touchdown and did this in the end zone, just calling his shot.
I can tell you for certainty, I'm not the guy to answer that question. I couldn't tell you. But my
I think it was
goodness, quick shout out, UFC 281.
Fire.
Wow, dude, unbelievable. Do
you ever bet on these things? No, does. Do you ever bet on the fights?
I should, but I don't. Maybe no, I should. I don't say I should. Sometimes I want to. I know I shouldn't.
Maybe. Yeah.
I wish I would have this past weekend. Yeah, I made some pretty bold calls in the front, and everyone was talking to me like I was crazy, and I went 4 for 5.
Ooh, nice work.
On the main card. The only one I went against my better judgment. Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier. I went with Chandler because it was a 3-round fight, which favors his style. That was fight of the night because both guys are dogs and bite down on mouthpieces and throw bombs, and they like to fight. It was insane back and forth. I almost got the call on that. Poirier just got out of a bad situation last second, came back and got it in the final round. But I did predict the fall of Izzy this fight. Weili, Gutierrez. Who was the other one? Anyway, went 4 for 5. I was pretty stoked about it. I was like, I know what I was going to see. Broken clock strike twice a day.
That is pretty good, man. That's impressive. I've not watched fights in a while. We spent, man, Saturday was a crazy day. We tried to clean our basement out because we got to clean our garage out because winter's coming. And so, we worked on that. My youngest daughter had a birthday party, so she had a performance Friday night in Mary Poppins till 11, had a birthday party at 10 a.m. next morning. So didn't get to sleep in as much as she'd like. Came back, had to do homework. Then we had Mary Poppins that night as well. So I haven't watched fights in a while. I haven't watched much of anything in a while. But that's all right. They'll be there someday. They'll be there. I'm in the thick of it, man. Family life. Scott says he's thankful for grace, thankful for his wife, thankful for fatherhood. Scott, you're a good man, Charlie Brown. Love being friends with you, bro.
Likewise.
I can't wait to actually see that guy in person one of these days. Scott, when are we going to make that happen?
I know. I see Armstrong all over the Woman in Trucking Conference.
Mm-hmm. Scott, where you at, bro?
Can't tell you another person that works there except Scott.
Says Frankie fight. I don't know what that means. Maybe you know what that
What
means.
about Frankie?
He said Frankie fight ?
Dude, I hated to see him go out the way he did. It was also incredible to watch. Chris Gutierrez threw a gnarly knee right at the middle. That dude put him out cold. He hit the button. It was pretty intense to watch. It sucked to see Frankie go out like that for his last fight.
Yeah.
But
Flipper.
That guy's a legend.
Hey, Jason says he can't believe you called that main event upset.
I knew it was happening.
Jason is going to be on the program on Thursday this week.
Nice.
He's talking about what he's doing for veterans, Lowboy Industries, Max Freight Lines. Tell you what, man, that guy had a massive business hack that I can't wait to talk about on Thursday.
What happened?
I'm not talking about it right now, but he came up with a massive networking business hack.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
We're not going to talk about it. People got to come to the show on Thursday, 10:30.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was a genius move to hear about. That's super cost effective too.
Yeah, absolutely genius. Smart guy, good guy, doing some good things with his son. Let's do some more of these incline push-ups. Work the shoulders a little bit more today.
What time is it?
Almost 6:30.
Almost 6:30. Got to bail out right at 6:30. These kids ready. Got to get dressed. Go hit the WIT Accelerate Conference. It's going to be a good week, dude. Excited to hear you do your thing run some panels. It's going to be awesome.
Hayden Allred and I at the same conference at the same time. What is going to happen?
Shenanigans. Pure tomfoolery. A lot of subpar TikTok videos. All kinds of stuff going on.
Oh, I love it. All right.
Just coming off F3, the week of F3 in Chattanooga. Could talk an hour about that. So incredible. And then immediately following this conference.
Throw down a few bars, see what happens.
Bro. Always spitting bars. Got to.
Hey, listen. Doesn't matter where you are, everybody. You can be in a hotel room. You can be in your bedroom. You could be at the office. Doesn't matter. You can do some of the stuff that we just did this morning. Most importantly, get your mind right. Get your body right. Have a great week, everybody. And don't neglect. Listen, don't neglect the word, everybody. That's where our theme comes from. You guys might not know this. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And that's what this is all about. Scott says it's almost 5:30 where he is. That's true. Yeah, man.
Another quote I fell in love with recently that I read. This is a Hemingway thing. And this ties into the Iron Man side, the Iron Mind side, both on the physicality, mentally, spiritually. There is nothing noble about being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior than yourself or than yesterday. From yourself than yesterday. I probably butchered the last part, but you get the message.
No, it's great, man. I think that's so true. And really, our competition is with ourselves. It's not with anybody else. You can't compare the gifts and the talents that God has given you with what He's given somebody else. Different people, different stories. Scott says the hat looks good.
It does, dude.
Yeah, it does.
It fits well too.
Fire. Hey, Scott, man, I got I got my hat here as well. I don't have it off the backpack yet, but I got this one I'm going to be wearing around.
I fell asleep in this because it's so comfortable, and I woke up and I had like 100 emails, people just asking to do business with me. So I don't know if that's a coincidence, but I think not.
Oh, love it, man. Hey, everybody, have a great week. We will see you next week on Iron Minds, episode 33. And until that time, kill it, get after it, sharpen your mind, and sharpen someone else as well. We'll see you. Peace out, everybody.
Go pick somebody up.